Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome all of you to another episode of Defusing the WMSCOG. I'm your host, Edgar, and today we have a special guest, Janelle, another ex-member from the WMSCOG. Janelle, could you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, my name is Chanel. I'm a former member from the WMSCOG. I attended for almost 3 months, and
Okay.
I went to the Zion in New York.
Okay, New York. Yeah, and we haven't had someone on here from New York yet, so I'm very interested to hear that perspective. And I'm so happy that you had the time to join us today. I do want to let the audience know, like you guys probably could tell, my voice is pretty jacked up. I've been dealing with a sore throat for the last month, so I'm going to try to battle through it. But without further ado, Janelle, let's go ahead and get right into your story. So, how did you get introduced to the WMSCOG?
So in New York City, I went to go visit. I was getting off the train to go to like a dance class, and I was approached by two members. They basically told me about first they said they were a Christian church and that they were having a Bible study, and they gave me the information to maybe come after because I think they were holding it until like 7 p.m.
Mm.
So it was early. It was like 1 p.m.
Okay. And did they invite you to go to the church or where were they hosting the Bible study at?
They invited me to the church. I didn't know it was the church, but they said, I guess they said it was one of their locations.
Okay. And so what did you so you ended up going that day, right?
Yes, I attended
Okay.
during my class.
And so how was that experience the first day that you were there?
Um, I did have a good experience. It was very different, and I was welcomed with a lot of love.
Yeah, the love bombing phase.
So much love.
Yeah.
Um, like right away, I noticed the God bless you, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, pretty awesome. I've never been in a place where people greet each other saying "God bless you" like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. It just that made me feel really welcomed and loved, like I said. But so we talked about the Sabbath basically for the first one,
Yeah.
and like I was interested in that, so I was very excited learning the information.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So you learned a little bit about the Sabbath. Did they tell you up front like that they believe in Christ Ansanhong or that they believed in Jerusalem Mother?
So they didn't tell me about Christ on Sun Home.
Mm,
I think it was like the second Bible study that I started asking questions, and they
okay.
were kind of like tippy-toeing around it, and they were just like, just be patient. There's more classes, or there's more Bible studies, and it'll be all clear, and it'll make sense.
Right. Yeah. So
Like,
that
there was a picture of Unsung Home. They have like a picture. That I was like, is that Christ? Is that the? Oh, I don't know. It was funny. It was kind of.
yeah. Yeah, it's very awkward because you see these pictures all over, blasted all over the church, and then they're very secretive about it, you know what I mean? Especially for the newer members, for the recruits.
Yeah. Oh, so what happened was they hinted to me that he came back, and then I was
Mm.
like, "It's that guy, isn't it?" And then I was just like, and I don't know. I just like I
Yeah.
was, I was so excited being there and learning, and I was kind of like very open minded, and I
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh, like it's him," and I was like, "If it's him, he's a legend," and they were like so happy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I bet they were because in their heads they were probably thinking like, "Oh, this is a great fruit," and she already believes in father and mother. So let me ask you this: like, so you said that they told you they were gonna give you like a little bit of the truth, a little bit, at a time. So you said that there was more than one class. So I'm assuming the first day, did you get baptized in the first class, or did it take time for you to get baptized?
I think I got baptized the third, number three.
Okay, for the third study, like how long after your initial study was the third study?
Um, I want to say like 2.5 weeks.
Okay. And during that time, were they like constantly blowing you up, trying to get you to come for a Bible study?
So there was one woman, we stayed connected. I guess she was my branch. and
Yeah.
like we spoke like all the time, almost every day, and we
Okay.
would set up a schedule. She would just be like, "Oh, like, what is your week like? When would you like to come for the next Bible study?" So I would kind of make my schedule through her.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they're of course they're very friendly when they reach out to you. You know, they want to get you to come in for the Bible study because that's how the indoctrination process begins, you know. The more studies you do, the more obedient you become to their teachings and want to be like fully immersed into the WMSCOG. So my next question to you is once you got baptized, right? So like what was that experience like after the baptism? How was the rest of your time inside the WMSCOG?
I gotta say it was refreshing. Um, we did like the little Passover after, and then basically when I got downstairs, everybody was like, "Congratulations, sister, you're a part of the family now," and like just like the love bombing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
So it's because you were in such a short time, like a lot of the experiences that you got, it was mostly like love bombing and so much love and again, it's because you were so new. They were just constantly they were still trying to get you to kind of settle in and become this full-time gospel worker. So like what exactly is it that made you start to kind of doubt or made you realize that maybe they weren't who they claimed to be?
So it really began when so basically I was going to the New York City church, and then I transferred to the Smithtown because I lived on Long Island, so I had to take a train into New York City. But like kind of like my niche was like in New York City, so it was like pretty convenient for me to kind of go to it wherever I had to go and then go to church after.
Yeah,
So um I feel like the New York City location is more like rehearsed, you could say,
yeah,
in a way that's just like always kind of like the same, like consistent type of energy and like vibe where everyone's just like so welcoming.
yeah,
But when I transferred to Smithtown, that's when I really started to question things because even in New York City, when I learned about Mother, I was still very excited about it. But they didn't like I did not know she was alive or anything then. So it just
right.
was happening in Smithtown, and I started going to Smithtown in September.
Okay.
I got there. I met them at the end of July, and then like after August, things started. Like basically, August 15th, I got baptized, and then yeah, and then in September, I transferred.
Okay. So when you said that, they kind of felt refreshing to learn a little bit about Mother, but they didn't explain to you that she was actually a real woman in the flesh living in Korea at that time. And I think that's very telling and very important to let people know, let the audience know, because even if they do tell you that they believe in the second coming Christ or in the Heavenly Mother, sometimes they're very vague with the details and don't explain to you the reality, which was he was a man who came in the flesh in Korea, and he had children. He had children. He actually had two wives and some mistresses allegedly, and then Zongil Ja as well. And so that's something that they don't tell you right off the jump. That's something that you got to find out on your own. So when did you find out, and how did you find out that Zongil Ja was actually in the flesh in Korea?
So, okay, um, it was right before. Okay, how do I even? Sorry. Where do I even? Okay, so once I went, I'm sorry, I have to say it this way. Once I started going to the Smithtown Zion, it was very, very fast movement. Like I met the pastor and her and I connected. And then I came in like the next day for class. And then like Sabbath came. And then like during that week, the Feast of Trumpets was coming. So I was literally like devoting so much time and just like going all in.
Yeah,
Um, and like after I spent the Sabbath, like a whole Sabbath, like for me, I benefited because I was just putting like my full faith, and every time I prayed to Jesus Christ.
yeah,
I feel like even though I was in there, I was still blessed, like by him, for him, like intended. Um, but like I just started to notice like behaviors and like kind of like the control, and it's almost like the people that was assigned with me, there was something about them that like was just so unhappy. But
Yeah,
it was like I felt like I was like forced. It just felt like super robotic. Like during service, like they would be like so, I don't know how to put it into words, but like almost like militant. If that's a proper word. It's,
yeah,
they were so like tough, and
yeah,
I feel like I would just I would feel bad because I can sense that like they just do the same thing over and over and over again, and they were trying to kind of like force me to be a part of that, but I just I can feel the tension.
yeah,
So it made me a little bit uncomfortable because I didn't kind of feel free. It's almost like you get assigned this person and they're watching you the whole time. They're with you the whole time. And if you're doing something that they're not doing or you're supposed to be doing like after them, like they're gonna treat you a certain way. So I noticed that every time I looked at my phone or if I scrolled at my phone, like I got judged. Um like the way, oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I was walking on eggshells when whoever I was
yeah,
with, they were watching me. I had to ask to go here. I had to ask to go there. Like I couldn't go anywhere alone. So those things were questionable. The way that everything was like a secret, like so the secret society, like I wanted to write notes because I was so excited and on fire. And
yeah,
like you can't write notes yet. You can't write notes yet. And then like I did all the classes and I got to Smithtown and I still couldn't write notes. And like they softly explained to me like you can write notes like when you're in. But like no
mm,
one told me. They were just like do more, and then now they're telling me that I have to do even more to be in, like sealed in order
yeah,
to start studying, so I can have access to the apps and to the information. So
yeah.
yeah.
And
Sorry, yeah.
no, no, that's good. And they're definitely, that whole process is just trying to lure you in, get deeper and deeper. The more blessings they give you, the more access to apps or whatever, the sermon books, they're just reeling you more and more in so that it's harder for you to leave. So I'm very happy that you were actually in for 3 months, because even a day is too long to be in that place. It's really a really bad place. And but it's very telling that even in those months that you were in, that you were able to see all that stuff. And it's just very telling for the audience to get your perspective of someone that was in there for a few months and were able to pick up on all that kind of energy in that place, how it's like they're micromanaging your every move. And I guarantee you, like, for a member that's new and they're like, man, I feel like they're constantly watching me, or they're probably talking about me or wondering, things about me. I guarantee you that the gospel workers or the leaders, they're 100% talking about you. They're trying to, like, talk about all the information that they got on you, looking into, your personal life to kind of see where you're at, and to see if, if you're a prime candidate for them to, like, move you to be a gospel worker. And in your case, is like you said, you felt like they were constantly watching you, and the pressure was there, and you felt like you had to tell them for, everything. That's because they really wanted to make you a gospel worker.
So many
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So, when did this happen? Because I never asked you
I'm sorry. Oh no, I was still answering your question.
that. You're fine. Go ahead.
Wait, okay, wait, I'm sorry, sorry. So after that, I was gonna get to so once we got, like, I'm sorry, to the Feast of Trumpets, it was this day that I literally worked a full day, and then I went over there for a Bible study, and she was like, you should definitely, like, stay today because we're having an event, like, right before the Feast of Trumpets. It was, like, the introduction or something.
Yeah.
And that was the day that I started asking questions because, like, I treat my cat like a child. feed my cat, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna go feed my cat, and then I can come back because I was like so devoted, and I lived like 25 minutes away. So like I feel like one of the pastors he kind of got like upset. He was like he was just like it's a cat, and I was just like basically saying like God is more important than the cat. But I was just like I really need to feed my cat, and I really will come back. And then
Yeah.
I called him, and I was like I'm sorry. Is it? I was a little bit late because it took me a while. And I was like, I'm sorry, should I just come tomorrow? She was like, still come. And when I got there, there was like 20 minutes left of whatever the sermon or whatever. So I ended up going there for 30 minutes. But sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, you're good.
I saw a picture finally because it was a booklet, and the mother, like whatever, the woman was there, and then I asked one of the members, I was like, "Who's this lady?" And then one woman, she was like, "Oh, it's Mother," and I was just like, "What?" Like I had no idea, and that's when I questioned everything.
And how did you react when they told you like that's mother? What was your first thought that went through your mind?
Deceit.
You said what now?
Something like I was a little hurt because no one told like I knew that they were waiting to kind of spoon feed me,
Yeah.
but that's when like my stomach kind of turned, and that was just more confirmation for my questioning. I think
Yeah.
it was like yeah.
Okay. So, if you don't mind me asking, when did all this happen? Like, when did you get introduced to the WMSCOG?
When did last year
Last year.
2024.
Okay. So, in the beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year,
Towards the end of the year,
towards the end of the year.
summertime, August to November.
Okay, August, November. Okay. So once you realize like and you saw who she was and that these people believe that she's God in the flesh, this lady who doesn't even know your name, doesn't know anything about you. So, obviously that was a shock to you. But now I guess my question is what after seeing that, was that one the reason that, really made you wake up and be like, okay, maybe this isn't the right place? For me, or was it something else that kind of led you down the road to get out of there?
No, my spirit was like, do research now.
Yeah,
Because I listened. They were like, just don't go online. Like it's okay. You don't just like we people say bad things about us. And I
yeah,
was okay, and I was like very loyal. So I was
yeah,
like I'll give you benefit of the doubt. But what I did do was go on YouTube, and I followed the WMSCOG like their page, and I was kind of like watching those videos, and I was like, okay, this is pretty amazing. You know,
yeah.
like made it. But
And then, so you're watching the WMSCOG, their content, but I'm assuming that you also ran into some other content while you were looking at their
I
stuff.
seen something, but it didn't really come up for me. It was more of like the good stuff, just because I searched WMSCOG. I didn't search anything otherwise. So the first things that came up were like the church, actually.
Okay.
So I was so subscribed, and then I started watching the videos.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that's because they do a good job of flooding the internet with like, everything that has to do with WMSCOG. Even if it's a video they've posted over 100 times, they'll just keep reposting it. And, they tell the members to, watch these videos, share them, like, comment, so that they can boost the algorithm so it pushes out, all the videos that people try to make exposing them. So it makes sense that you were still watching a lot of the the videos they want you to see. So I guess now my question is, since you didn't really watch too much of the videos that kind of exposed them, what was it that actually made you get out?
Okay, ready? So sorry, I was getting around there. So that night that I found out, like I immediately spoke to the pastor, and I was like, "What is like who is this, and why didn't you tell me?" And she's
Yeah,
like, "You have to do the Bible studies," and I was just like, "Okay." And then I smiled. I was like, I'm looking forward to the next one." And then I went home, and then I actually searched the videos. Great Light Studios came up, and I like binged, like, and I had to watch some of yours too, and I binged, and like
yeah,
when the light bulb went on, and I was like, okay, I was obsessed for like a week. just searching and
Yeah.
searching, and even learning about like the occult and learning of even more about Anselm Home and the truth.
Okay. So that's when it all kind of clicked. So you did find some content on when you were searching for WMSCOG, you ran into the Great Light Studio videos.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. And yeah, and that's usually how it happens. Like when members start researching, you're gonna run into Great Light Studios or, all the other platforms that are also, exposing the WMSCOG. And, it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole, and it's great, you know what I mean? Because you start seeing all the information and all the stuff that they hid from you. And let me ask you this, when you started watching all the videos and start realizing what you were actually getting involved with, what was your thought process when you were watching those videos?
Um, honestly, my heart broke
Yeah,
because like this is a theme for me, having an open heart and believing in people.
yeah,
Um, I didn't think it was gonna happen again. Like I thought this was it for me.
yeah,
I was very emotional. I'm getting emotional now. Yeah, it definitely hurt. It hurt a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah, honestly, people get mixed emotions, you know what I mean? Because you really believe these people, you know what I mean? They gain your trust, and like you said, you think it's the ultimate truth. And I can attest to that myself. I brought my whole entire family into that place, my best friends, and I did it because I thought it was the truth, and I was, during that time I met a lot of awesome people. And but the most important part was I thought that it was the truth. And once I realized that it wasn't, I also felt heartbroken. So I could definitely relate to that, and I think that a lot of members can also relate to your story. um Now my question to you would be, when you decided, okay, this is a cult, or I'm heartbroken, I can't believe everything that I'm hearing, how did you separate yourself from the WMSCOG? Because I imagine they were still contacting you even after realized what was actually going on.
Yes. I'm a communicator, so I'm very direct.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you what I'm feeling, and I'll tell you like why, and I'll tell you when I need space. So basically, um, the pastor, the woman, she was reaching out to me and she was like, "Hey," she's like, "How are you? I miss you. I miss you. I miss you. I want to see you.
yeah,
Um, we're making your favorite food today, like just for you." And I'm just like, "Okay." I was like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling very uncomfortable with mother. No one really told me, and I just need to take a step back and do research for myself. And I will come back and talk to you like when I feel better about it.
yeah,
And then right away she was like, please come. She was like, please come back.
yeah,
She was like, I'll explain everything. She's like, we'll go over the Bible and like you'll understand. I promise you'll understand. So then I confronted the New York City friends as well, and they said the same thing. Because I think that they contacted them and told them as well that I wasn't going. So they
yeah,
tried to kind of bring me back, and I was like, I'm sorry, but and then I confronted that person. I was just like why did you tell me? Why didn't you tell me from the beginning? And the
yes,
one thing that I thought was like, okay, if they're so proud of their mother, like where's her pictures? Like where is she in the church? Why don't you have one picture of her? You have a
yeah,
picture on some home, but you don't have a picture of mother who you're actually like sending letters to and praying to. Like
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a very good point, actually. And you took the
honestly
word.
proud. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and you took the words right out of my mouth. Like, they obviously, they're gonna tell you like, hey, please come back. We can answer all your questions through the Bible, please, sister. And they try to pull at your heartstrings because because of that love bombing phase, and you felt so loved. I can understand how you probably were feeling bad when they're practically begging you to come and to study. But I'm so glad that you told them, like, why didn't you tell me this up front? It was that easy. If this was an honest, church, and they were not ashamed of what they taught, and they were honest people, and they had the perfect truth, then why is it so hard to tell people up front what they really believe? Why do they have to hide it behind all this love bombing and spoon feeding, process? It's because they know that if they were to tell people up front what they really believe, there's no way that anybody would go to that church, especially if you do just a little bit of research and find the origins of that place. You really realize how wicked this place is. Now, of course, there's a lot of members in there who are great people, and I will never bash the members because there's so many people that I love still in that place. But it's the leadership, and I do believe that leadership reflects the character of the church. And the leadership, you could always tell the by their fruits. And like you said, there, since from the jump you felt like they were micromanaging you, like they were breathing down your neck, and it would have just got worse, worse and worse if you would have stayed in there longer.
Being in the crowd, I felt the pain. Like,
Yeah.
I remember one Sabbath, we went through a whole Sabbath, and I was like physically, emotionally, mentally exhausted because in between every service, I was doing a class because I was so excited and they were so eager to give me the class. Like I just didn't say no. So all day it was like my brain was going.
Yeah.
And I wanted to cry in the third service, but like I could not stop. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't do anything. So I was like, I cried out of frustration in service because like I
Wow.
couldn't move. But I also like I feel like I was feeling everyone else because I feel like a lot of people there feel the same way. They just don't say anything. Like they have to do it. They have to do it, or else.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild to me that, like you're saying all these things, and I'm like, I just keep thinking to myself, like, you were only there a few months and you picked up on all of that. And it breaks my heart because if you can see that, and I remember seeing that myself, like it just makes me think of all the members and like that are still in there, and like all the silent battles that they're going through, and you're not encouraged to share how you feel. You're not able to communicate your emotions with the people in there, and you're looked down upon if you actually express how you really feel. And so it's so sad, and I think that that's why making these type of videos is so important, because your video could help so many people, that are in the same situation as so I'm very thankful that you came on this platform to share your story. Can I ask you what made you feel like you wanted to tell your story to the world?
Honestly, like ever since I got out, ever since I started watching Great Light Studios, I was like, I need to tell my story. I actually reached out to them. I think maybe via email, maybe Instagram. Like
Yeah.
they never reached out, so I was just like, okay, maybe it's not meant to happen. But like, once we connected, I was like, okay, like this is happening, and it's funny. Like I had the pictures that I took. I always like I wanted to delete them because I wanted to kind of like take it like like remove it from my life, move forward. But something was just like, don't delete them yet. Just like the time is coming, the time is coming. So
Yeah.
right away, I wanted to tell my story.
Yeah, that that's crazy. But
That was
I commend you because it's very brave of you, to do this. And yeah, definitely everything happens for a reason, So, I know that people are gonna appreciate your story. And everybody has their right to tell their side of the story. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you were there, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, a few days, one day, even 1 hour, like is what I always say is too much in the WMSCOG, especially when you start realizing who they really are. Then that's when it begins to get a little overwhelming and even scary, downright scary. So let me ask you this: after when you told them that you wanted some space, did they continue to reach out to you, or did they stop?
yes, they continued to reach out to me, and it was pretty manipulative because the pastor, I don't know what are they called? Are they called pastors? I don't think
Well,
I'm right. Deacon was deacon
yeah,
is
yeah.
right.
So if it was a female, that they don't have female pastors, but they have missionary females, or they'll have deaconesses.
Yeah, it was the deacon and the deaconess were married. She was she seemed attached. I guess like she really loved me being around, but like she was like crying. She was very very emotional. She was like, please, please, please don't. She's like, just don't. She was like, sister, sister, I love you so much. Like she was very very upset. So
Yeah,
it really did make me feel bad because like her and I were very connected.
yeah,
And we would just giggle all the time, and like it was just yeah, she was very sweet. So it did hurt me to be like cold with her, but I had to.
yeah. And
I just had to.
no,
Um,
yeah, and I get it. I'm happy that you did because it maybe if you wouldn't have, maybe if you would have kind of gave into those emotions, maybe you would still be in the WMSCOG. And so, I'm very happy that you stood up for yourself and you were able to say no. And I think that is very important again that, we highlight that if they really wanted to have a sincere and honest relationship, from the jump, they would have told you the truth. You know what I mean? That's like, you're getting to know, maybe your significant other, and they don't tell you that they're married and have kids. That's something that needs to be said up front, not, a few years, a few months down the line. You know what I'm saying? So that it shows a lot about their true colors. Go ahead.
if they tell you right away, like no one's gonna support. Like no one's
Yeah.
gonna want you.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. Like I said, if once they start, if they were to tell you everything like, hey, you're expected to keep, the Sabbath day and the third day and, all the feasts and you need to go preaching and you need to be here every day, you need to cook, you need to clean, you need to do all of these things. Your whole life is going to be constantly revolving only around the church. Who would want to join that, and they're going to constantly make you feel like you're not good enough. They're going to constantly make you feel like you had so much pressure to bring other converts in, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm so glad that you're out of that place.
Together, everyone. It's like everyone's behind it
Yeah.
almost.
No, yeah, for sure. And I mean, every Zion is the same, so like I hear the same stories coming from, all over. And actually, New York, I have a friend in New York, and yeah, like, yeah, it's the same. It's the same everywhere you go. So really, I'm just glad that you were able to see all the red flags from the get-go and that you were able to get out. Let me ask you this. Since you left, how has life been going for you?
I definitely got my life back. I would
Okay.
I am back in balance. Taking a break from religion, although I'm always connected to Jesus Christ and I read the Bible on my own.
Yeah.
But I'm just really kind of pouring into like my passion, my friendships, and like my connections. Because
Yeah.
like I was very, yeah, it was a short time, but I was completely lost, and I just kind of gave like everything to the church. I ended up again like just kind of like giving myself away,
Yeah.
and I didn't shut my mom out, but my mom was warning me, and I was literally fighting her. like
Yeah.
I was pulling scriptures out, and I was just like, "You're wrong." like I was
Yeah.
like, "You're
Yeah.
wrong. I'm gonna do what I want." I had my friends who I did Bible study with them. Then I stopped going there, and like they told me, and I was like, "No," and I was just like, my mindset was just like the people around me are not like they're not my spiritual family. Like they don't understand, they're not a part of this. And like it's my mission to like to show them the truth.
Yeah.
And I brought two friends there as well, like in between that time. Like I feel like my one friend, she probably would have like ended up going more. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she would have ended up. But my other friend who was Muslim, um,
Yeah.
came on a Sabbath, and like he was with the deacon, and he like questioned the deacon, and like the deacon, he had to do service after, and he was just like you could tell he was annoyed, like he was
Yeah.
very frustrated and annoyed, and then it kind of projected into like his service a little bit.
Mm. Yeah, they definitely do not like people, arguing or putting up a fight when it comes to their Bible studies. They love the members that just accept, whatever's coming out of their mouth, whatever it may be. And so, yeah, I could definitely understand that because I saw that happen all the time. It's like fall in line or get out, pretty much. So, yeah, I could definitely see that. So and you saying that you brought some of your friends in makes me understand why they were so, hurt to lose you, why they were love bombing you so much is because they saw you were already bringing people in, you were already, preaching to people, talking to your family, sharing the quote unquote truth. And so anytime they see a member do that, they're gonna 100%, try to keep you because they're going to try to get everything they can out of you as far as bringing members inside the church. So again, kudos to you for getting out and seeing everything so quickly. So now that you're out, I want to ask you, like, if for any members that are still members of the WMSCOG, what advice would you give them?
Ask questions.
Yeah,
Ask
that's
questions.
question.
Follow your gut. And check in with yourself emotionally. Are you really happy? Is
Yeah.
it fulfilling you?
Yeah, no, those are all great points, because questions are very important, and especially if you ask the correct questions, and if they can't answer those questions, then they need to do what you did, which was research, and again, they always try to tell members, they always try to, fill members with fear when it comes to researching their faith, like you don't need to question us, you just need to believe what we say, you just need to read fathers books, don't look at the internet. If you look at the internet, you're gonna spiritually die, stuff like that.
Or two, it's like it'll make sense if you keep studying. Like keep
Yeah.
studying. You'll get to the rainbow. Just keep going. And it's like
Yeah, yeah. They prolong it, right? So it's like all your questions will be answered in the near future, like let's one of my favorite tactics when I was in there, favorite gaslighting tactics is if a member asks like a question that maybe you didn't want to give an answer to or you didn't have the information to give an answer to, leadership is taught to answer by saying, oh, we'll study about that next time, we'll study about that next time, but that next time never comes, you know what I mean? So yeah, very very crazy. But no, I'm so happy that you came today to tell your story. You got any closing remarks?
anyway.
Any closing remarks? Anything else you'd like to mention?
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. I was so ready to tell my story. I've been like just like so excited and just wanting to really share.
Yeah,
Um, oh my gosh, I do have more to share. I
yeah.
really have a little bit more to share.
Let it
Um,
flow.
so I moved out of New York, and
Okay.
they were throwing me a surprise, not a surprise party, sorry, a going away party.
Yeah.
And it so happened that on the day of my going away party, Deacon and Deaconess show up to my house with a gift. So
Mm,
I'm like 2 weeks out, and
wow.
up to my house, and I was leaving to the party. I felt bad, and I was very nice, and I just gave them the address to the party so they can meet me in the parking lot and just like talk whatever they had to say.
Yeah.
Um, it so happened that my Christian friends were there, and they really wanted to back me up. So like my friend, he had the Bible. It was just, they just had like a conversation and like a debate in the parking lot, and like the deaconess, she was so focused on me, she like gave me the gift, and like she was just like she just wanted me to be there the whole time, but I had like guests that were arriving, so I had to leave.
Yeah.
And I just saw the pain in her eyes. Like she was just like very, very upset. But I was just like, thank you so much. I was just like, I'm sorry. And I was just upfront, and I felt bad. It was all very, it was quite confrontational, but I had to call it out. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I can't worship a woman who's alive. Like
Yeah.
it was just like it just like I hope you can respect my decision. Thank you so much for coming over here. Like thank you for showing love and support. But like I just this is not for me. So
Yeah.
then they stayed with my other friends, like who were they needed to like talk to them about Christ and like get answers. So I know
Yeah.
like the ending for them probably was like challenging because they had to face Christian like, believers, like
Yeah.
believers. But
Right.
that's kind of how it ended. After that, they never reached out.
Yeah, I actually I wish that I could be a fly on the wall to hear what was said during that conversation, you
Oh my
know.
god! Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
good. It was definitely heated for sure.
I'm happy that they backed you up though, you know, they sound like good friends. So I'm and you know, ironically enough, once they saw that you had people around you that, you know, maybe could defend themselves with the Bible, they finally left you alone. You know, and that's also very telling, you know, because they definitely do not want to, you know, they know when they finally met their match, you know, and they will definitely try to avoid when they think that somebody, you know, that's equipped with handling the Bible, you know, is you know, that you're with that person, you know, and that they're in your circle of friends. And so I think that that's also very telling. But I'm also very happy that at that point they finally left you alone, you know?
It's just crazy how it fell on that day. Like that day, I was just like very protected. Like
Yeah.
if I was alone, I just don't. I would just be very uncomfortable. But I was grateful that I had people with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, again, everything happens for a reason, you know. So um I'm very happy that everything did work out that way. And you seem like you're in a good place, you know. So you seem very joyful and you look like, you know, you got your head on your shoulders. So very happy that you're out. Very happy that, you know, you wanted to come and share your story. And like I said, you know, every story is gonna help people because, you know, many members, you know, every member was a new member at one point, you know, and so there's a lot of members that are, you know, a few months in and maybe they're researching right now, maybe they're looking for content to try to understand the WMSCOG and they might come across your video. And so, you know, I'm very appreciative of you taking the time to do this. Is there anything else that you want to get off your chest?
It just like breaks my heart. It's like it breaks my heart that they claim to be a Christian church, that they use Christ.
Yeah.
They use Christ to get their way, and that really hurts. And
Yeah.
my heart goes out to people who don't know Christ, like who
Yeah.
don't know Jesus and his teachings, and who can't discern. You know,
Yeah.
those true like people who are there, the good people who are there. I'm just like I'm praying for them. I
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it is really sad, you know,
It's
because, you know, I also feel like they take advantage of people that are in all different kinds of situations, but they also take advantage of people. Some of those people fall under the, you know, the class of people who actually do love God and trying to have a relationship with God. And so, you know, when they take advantage of those people, you know, and then, you know, it sucks because they really think that they have a relationship, you know, with God. They feel like they finally have what they've been looking for their whole lives, and then you end up finding out that it's all a sham, you know, and I can definitely understand how, you know, one might feel, you know, like a very like they're in a very hard situation when you leave because that's a very hard pill to swallow, you know. I mean, imagine, you know, I can imagine how you must have felt because you seem like, you know, you opened up your heart to them, you know. I was in for 11 years and I'm thinking these people are really God. I would have given my life for them, you know. And when I found out that it was all fake, and then when I realized like all the things that were messed up about the church, like it shocked me, you know, like and I really woke up and I was like, wow, like how could I fall for it for so long? But again, I realized that it's a lot of the love bombing, and you know, you once you lower your guard, that's when they start the indoctrination process, and it takes trust. You know, they need you to trust them. Once you trust them, then it's, you know, it's all downhill from there. So, you know, again, I'm very happy that you were able to see, you know, all those red flags and that, you know, you came out on top. And you know, I can definitely respect that right now. You want to, you know, take, you know, some time to kind of figure things out, you know, and that's very understandable because again, once you leave a place like this, it's very hard to want to lower your guard again.
Yeah, going back into a church is just like it's scary. It was traumatic, honestly, what happened, and I'm just
Yeah,
pretty fragile when it comes to people. And I know Christian churches are great, and I have gone to Bible study. Just right now, yeah, I'm just kind of like having that space for myself, and
yeah.
like, yeah.
Understandable, understandable. You take all the time that you need, and you got to do what you feel is best for yourself. And so totally respectable. But again, very happy that you decided to do this. Was there anything else that you'd like to mention?
Um, oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. This is your time.
Um, okay, so people this is a message for people who are in World Mission Science and Church of God. Like, pray to God and ask Him to reveal the truth. Always ask Him to reveal the truth every time you pray. I assure you that you will get the answers.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. Me myself, I'm still a Christian, and I believe in God, and so I do believe that, the Bible says if you seek God with all your heart, he will answer the door. And so I would definitely encourage the members that are in there, if you really believe in God, you know what I mean? Even the Bible says test the spirits. The Bible doesn't say don't get on the internet, do not test the spirits, do not, research. The Bible says test the spirits to see if they're of God. And so if you believe in God, if this place claims to have the one true God, and they have all, they follow the perfect truth and have all the evidence, then what are they so scared of that they, tell members not to research them? That makes no sense. If they have the perfect truth, they should feel like they have nothing to hide. The fact that they are so secretive, even earlier you compared them to like a secret society, which is 100% dead on. That's really how they operate. Then that should raise a red flag. A light bulb should go off in your head and be like, "What? Why is this place so secretive? Why don't they tell you all the truth up front? What are they hiding? And so it's very, very telling. But Janelle, very happy that you finally told your story. I'm hopefully that we can do this again. Maybe sometime. Check in on you, and I'm sure that we'll stay in contact. And for all the listeners out there, for all the audience, thank you for tuning in. And please support the channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. That really helps push the algorithm out there and get this content out to as many people as we can. And until next time, thank you for joining us on another episode of Diffusing the WMSCOG.